Hi there. Now we're taking a look at dividing by a binomial, and this is going to be pretty different than what we did when we were dividing by a monomial. So make sure you're writing this down, make sure you're following along with this, because this is quite a bit different. Alright, so we've got our two things we're dividing here. We've got 3d squared minus 4d plus 13, and this is divided by d plus 3. So what we know here is we're already in standard form, so we don't need to rearrange things, but I'm actually going to write this out like I would long division. If you remember that from probably many years ago, what we're dividing by goes out front. We have our little division here, and then I'm going to write what we're dividing inside. So what we want to do here is I want to see, okay, what can I multiply my first term here, d, what can I multiply this by in order to get 3d to the second power? Well, first off, I know it's going to be 3 because I've got basically a 1 in front of this d and a 3 in front of here, so I know I have to multiply it by 3, but also to go from d to d squared, I need to multiply by d as well. So I'm multiplying by 3d, and I'm going to put this right up here above where my negative 4d is, because this is where my answer is going to be coming out, if you remember how long division works. So once again, I'm looking to see, okay, what do I multiply this by, what do I multiply this d by in order to get 3d squared? Well, 1 times what gives me 3? Well, 1 times 3 gives me 3, so I put a 3 up here. And then I see, okay, what can I multiply d by to get d squared? Well, d times by d is d squared, and so I put the 3 and the d together, and I get a 3d up here. Well, now what I need to do is I need to go through and I need to actually multiply d plus 3 times by 3d. Well, we should get the same thing right here. D times 3d will be 3d squared. And then I need to multiply this 3 times by 3d. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. And then we keep the d with it, so I've got 9d. And what we want to do next is we just want to subtract straight down. So 3d squared minus 3d squared, those will go to 0, those will cancel out, so that's gone. And then over here, 4d minus 9d. Well, 4 minus 9 is going to give me negative 13d. So that's what we have right here. And then I just go ahead and bring this 13 down as well. That 13 didn't change, so we can just bring it down and have plus 13. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to see, okay, what can I multiply d by in order to get negative 13d? Well, if I multiply d times negative 13, that'll give me negative 13d. So I'm going to write negative 13 up here, minus 13. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply this whole binomial by negative 13. So d times negative 13 will be negative 13d. And then 3 times negative 13, 10 times 3 is 30, 3 times 3 is 9, so 3 times negative 13 will be negative 39. And then we subtract here. So negative 13d minus negative 13d, the minus and the minus here will become a plus. Those will cancel out, so those go to 0. Over here, 13 minus negative 39, that becomes 13 plus 39. And 13 plus 39 should be 52. Now, since we're out of things over here to look for, and if you notice, there's nothing I can really multiply d by to get 52. This is what we call our remainder. And the way that we write out our final answer is we have this right here, 3d minus 13. Then we take our remainder and we put it over what we were dividing by. So I would have 52 over d plus 3. And this right here is my final answer. Just like that.